Hi everyone, and welcome again to another video clip. You can see behind me here that this is a really wet, miserable day here in the UK. Very wet and windy, which is a great metaphor for your English, because there are some days when trying to study feels like this, very dark and grey. And we have to work hard to remove those clouds before we can begin studying. Those clouds really are dark up there, aren't they? So the question is, how do we do that? Well, in the same way as when you go to work, you have a ritual. You get up in the morning, you get dressed. If you still go to an office, if not, then you get up in the morning, you go to the computer, you switch it on, and you get ready for the emails. But there's a ritual there. You have your coffee. English is no different. And the problem is, with English, when you try to shove it in to an hour of your day without having any kind of ritual or any kind of build-up to it, it's going to fail. Imagine you go to meet an old friend and you don't bother to shave, you don't bother to dress up, you just kind of go there, and your friend says, you all right? You having a bad day? To think of English in that way makes it a little bit easier, because there's a ritual there, you can get excited about it, So I would encourage you, if you can, to begin seeing English as going to visit a friend, and have a moment, half an hour of quiet and reflection on what you're going to learn, and then also, when you finish, what you have learned. Maybe spend some time with a little list about some new words, and also just writing down what you're grateful for. These are very positive habits in learning, and something which these days is really often overlooked, because we think, English is, so 2 o'clock I have a business meeting with John, 3 o'clock I have an appraisal, 4 o'clock I meet that client, 5 o'clock I'll try and maybe get some English again, 6 o'clock I'm home cooking for the kids. The more you push English down in that way, the more is going nowhere. So you need to be able to manage it in a way where you bring it alive. And if you want to see that as a friend, someone you're going to see, and if you have a teacher, that would be, of course, the perfect way to do it. But even if you're working alone with a book, you need to really get into the mood of doing that, and having a ritual before you start studying is one of the best ways. Even just 5 minutes to quieten your mind, to say, you know what, my expectations of this lesson is that it will be a good one, and I'm going to leave here feeling overjoyed, feeling happy. These kind of things, these little affirmations, are very personal, and you need to work on them to find out what works for you. But what I can tell you is, when it comes to learning, you can't just slot English in there between 2 business meetings hoping that you learn something. English is about a change of consciousness. It's a communications tool. It needs people to share it with by default. It's not just something that you can say, okay, I have an hour, I'm going to have 50 words go from this book into my head, because you'll forget them almost immediately, because they have no meaning. You need to make things meaningful by giving them rituals, by giving them space, time, most of all by using them and sharing them. That's what language is about, sharing. So I want you to reflect on that today. It's really important. Whatever you do with your English, don't keep it to yourself. Set up a blog, have a time of preparation before your class, and afterwards another 5 or 10 minutes before you rush away to the next meeting. because the more you reduce English down to be a commodity, the more of it you're going to lose. Think about it when you were a kid, when you were learning to go on a bicycle. What did you say? Did you say, 2 o'clock, I'll practice my cycle riding. 3 o'clock is a meeting with my mother. 4 o'clock, we will have dinner together. Of course not, no. But you had little rituals that you did, and you were more carefree with the other kids than you are today. So learning doesn't have to be so complex. You just really need to have those times when you can prepare, get yourself into the right frame of mind. And that mindset you're looking for is all about being open and receptive to learning. We all go to so many business meetings these days, which are dull and boring. And it doesn't have to be like that. It doesn't have to be so dull and boring. You can change that by being more receptive and giving your input, but of course with companies, that's hard to do. But in an English lesson, it's actually really, really easy to change your mindset, to have a bit of enthusiasm, and to ask yourself, okay, am I receptive? And at the end, you can say, wow, what did I learn? And what am I grateful for? These are just some things that you can think about, especially if you're the kind of person who's going from one meeting to the other, and English is pushed in there, or an hour before you go to bed. Those kind of things aren't helpful unless you're receptive and open and ready to bring your mind to them. That's it. All right. So I'll see you all again soon. Take care. Bye.